My name is Dr. Harvey Castro, and I'm excited to be here with my business partner, Brooks. Huh. Are you getting that echo too, Brooks? No. I'll let you take over. There we go. I think it stopped. Okay, good. So, first of all, thank you for joining us. We're really excited. Brooks and I have been working on this product for a while now. In fact, I want to say the original idea probably came from Hume AI when Brooks and I first saw it and thought, man, this is going to be really interesting as this emotional intelligence AI gets better and better. And some of the obstacles prior to that, I know, was the lag time. We would talk to the bot and it just didn't sound like it was ready to talk. The pauses were a little bit too long or sounded robotic. But from where we started to now, Brooks, what do you think?
I mean, just the voices that we're using are so much better than when we would have started this. It's like finally, I think probably like to the place where we can actually start showing these types of things and people can actually start using them.
Agreed. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's your bandwidth, but or maybe it's me too, because I'm hearing that muffle, but now it went away. I don't know. Hopefully, let us know in the chat if there's any issue. So, big picture, let's dive a little more deeper. So, what exactly did we create? At the end of the day, it's pretty simple. It's a coach. It's available 24/7, and it's not just any coach. It's specifically primed for relationships, marriage, HR issues. And the main goal for us is we understand patients, people, they want to call their doctor, they want to call a friend, but it may be 2 in the morning. Maybe that best friend of yours is not around to talk. And so we wanted to give an option. And to us, that option, obviously, we're both into AI, is how can we leverage AI? But not just any AI. We wanted to make sure how can we change it so that it feels more of a conversation. It has more psychology. Yes, AI has the entire internet, but when it comes down to AI, how can it interview that person or have a conversation with that person and get the best information so that way when the AI knows you better, now it can give you a better response. So when we created the product, we made sure to prime it just the right way so that it's asking certain key questions that is important for you to for the coach to know, and then more importantly give that feedback. So we wanted to make sure we give you a demo and show you. And Brooks, what are your thoughts so far? I think you're on mute, unfortunately. No worries, take your time. Wow, and I'm gonna answer I see a lot of comments already. Wow, thank you for joining us, guys.
Technical issues. Shoot.
No worries.
Sorry.
Well, we'll continue. So,
Usually happen.
go by our website is conflictclarity.coach. Yeah, now you're coming through clean.
You can hear me? I can't hear you.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
And I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I can't hear you. So I'll just keep talking. I can't hear you, Harvey, at the moment, but I'll just keep talking. So what this is, it's a site. You can go and sign up. It's conflictclarity.coach is the name of it. And what this is an AI coach. It uses a voice and it talks to you and it coaches you through scenarios and what you can, say you have an issue. So I'm just going to do a quick live demo. And I always have this Cheerio scenario that I go through. But here it is. It's going to be a little.
Hi, this is your conflict clarity coach demonstration. I can only talk for 2 minutes at a time. I'm here to help you work through a difficult moment with clarity, calm, and care. Before we begin, can you confirm that you're over 18?
Yes.
Then just let me know if you're working.
And I'm working through an issue with a roommate. He keeps leaving the Cheerios out and they keep getting stale. But we like these mini Cheerios that we get. But the problem is that they don't make them anymore. And it's like the 5th time he's done this. What's the best way to handle this? Usually we're like passive and not too direct, but I'm looking for some guidance on how to handle this situation.
I understand. It can be frustrating when a repeated issue like the Cheerios keeps happening, especially when it involves something you both value. It sounds like you're also trying to balance your usual passive approach with the need to address the situation directly. To help me give you the most relevant support, I'd like to ask a quick question about how you typically approach disagreements. Is that okay?
Yes.
Think about recent disagreements. Generally, when a conflict arises, are you more likely to A, address it directly and try to win your point, B, look for a fair compromise or middle ground?
I usually look
C,
for a fair compromise.
Okay, thanks. And how important is it for you, typically, to maintain the relationship versus achieving your own goals in a conflict?
Oh, in this conflict, since it's a roommate, I want to try to maintain a good, positive relationship.
Thanks for sharing that. It sounds like maintaining a relationship with your roommate is a priority for you in this situation. What are you feeling right now about this situation? And what do you feel you need most in this moment?
I'm feeling frustrated, and I want
I
some
understand.
advice.
I understand. You're feeling frustrated and looking for advice on how to handle the situation with your roommate and the Cheerios. Help me understand what this situation means to you emotionally. What's the hardest part for you?
That it keeps happening, and now that they no longer make this brand of these mini Cheerios, I can't get them anymore.
I hear you. The fact that it's a recurring issue and that the specific Cheerios are no longer available adds another layer of frustration. Thinking about this conflict or similar ones.
Okay, so we hit our limit there, but that was just a demo. And I've added the phone number to show up here. And if anybody calls that number, it's going to be the same demo to give a shot and give it a try. And then the nature of these tools, they're a little on the expensive side these days. So we are charging for this. You'll see the different tiers in there. And really the goal is to have some healthy conversation, to be able to, resolve conflicts in a very constructive way. And the way that we built this is we've taken best practices from all over the place, and we've distilled them down so that the AI understands this and it knows the best way to provide coaching. We've also added some safety elements to this as well. So if someone's talking about some difficult situations, or maybe there's a potential harmful scenario where they want to self-harm, we'll know about that. We'll get a notification, and then we can connect them back with the right folks. Again, we're trying to make this as safe as possible and give people a nice safe space. All the transcripts and things are just geared towards the individual, so we don't have access to those. The only time we would have slight access is in issues with safety, but again, we're not really getting access to the transcripts, just that there's an issue. So Harvey, with that, I'm going to mute myself and put my speakers back on so I can hear you without creating an echo.
Yeah. So big picture, we're excited about this because number one, access. Number two, I really enjoy the part that it has a memory. So for example, I'll use my 21-year-old son. He will use it, and the typical 21-year-old son, he may say, I'm good now, and literally may wait 2-3 months and then come back, and it has the memory from based on that phone number that this individual has X or Y. So I'm really excited that it could continue doing that. Now you're on mute again, Brooks.
So now it's going to be
There you go.
I'm not sure what's going on with StreamYard today. Is it better maybe, or is it still kind of
No, it's good. No echo. Everything's good now.
Okay, good. So I mean, I would have loved to have this tool in my younger years when I was just getting started with management and managing people, and I would have certainly solved conflicts in a much healthier way. I'm a little older now. Maybe when I was younger, it might have been a little bit more intense, but I think it would have helped me to have more healthier conversations and really be more constructive and get the things that we were after without without too much discourse.
Agree, and that's the key. It's not diagnosing, it's a coach. It's what Brooks said. It's just we both kind of wish we had something like this, and I like it too because I the more and more I talk to other individuals using AI, they tell me, hey Harvey, the number one thing is I love the availability, that I can call it 24/7. Second, they really enjoy that it's going through and having that conversation and going back and forth. And the AI has gotten to a point now that you can literally interrupt it and let it talk and then just interrupt it if you want. And it flows pretty interesting well. And I've tried different scenarios. I love his Cheerio example. I've also been really strong with it and told it crazy things like that are have some like a mental conditions just to see what it would do. And it does a good job in that it cuts the conversation and notifies Brooks and I that X or Y is going on because it's hitting a spectrum that it wasn't meant to hit. we're doing our best to make it sure that everyone knows that this is not diagnosing anyone, that it's 100% coach. The early feedback from our beta testers have all been positive, and so we're finally excited to release the product. So yeah.
And so again, if you want to give this a shot, you can go to conflictclarity.coach, and then there's a call button. It's 720-902-8425, and that's what will get you to the demo for the 2 minutes. And as a real user, it will remember your name, remember whom you are. It looks at your caller ID to make sure it knows who's calling, and then it will remember your conversations and follow up with you, and ask you how the last conversation went, and if you need any clarity from the previous conversations, or if you need a new if you have a new conversation or a new conflict or challenge that you want to solve.
And Brooks, how much time can they talk to the AI?
So the initial the base version gives you 60 minutes, 2 hours of coaching per month, and then if you go up to the higher tier, it's 5 hours of coaching per month. And we have some emotional intelligence built into this, so we'll know if you're crying, if you're sad. It'll pick up on cues and of maybe you're feeling depressed or down, or maybe you're happy, and it'll remember those things too. So the last time you have a conversation with it, it'll remember maybe you were happy or you're sad, and if you talk to it again, if you're happy or sad, it will pick up on that and know, and keep tracking those things for you as well.
Yeah. And I know there's the bell curve of people listening. Some people are like, whoa, I would never do that. And someone's like, oh man, I would totally use that in my early years, or I would use it now. There's been a lot of study and research behind this. Actually, studies are showing multiple times that patients, for better or worse, depending what angle you see it, they prefer to talk to a bot than talk to a human. As a doctor, I can say I understand. And if they use those tools, my advice back to my patients is like, okay, if you're going to use the bot, then let me be in that loop, or tell me what came out of it, so I can give you professional help in the sense that I can diagnose as a doctor as opposed to the bot. On the other side of this, I'm really interested in that there was multiple studies saying that not only are they opening up to the bot more, but a lot of individuals, the new trend now is to do exactly this, being able to call a bot. And so we're excited, Brooks and I, because we're starting with this one, and we're going to start looking at other parts that the AI could do to make it fix to a phone number, just making it up on the whim. Imagine if you had a mentor and someone that had years of experience in X industry. So we're looking at something like that, for example, that you have a startup, you have a business, and then the AI would be able to talk to you about that business. Oh, I love that you pulled that up, Brooks. You want to pull that back up and share with everybody?
I'll drop a link in the chat here, or in the comments of this report here. But this was from 2 years ago, and it really shows that people would rather talk to a human than AI, because they feel less judged. They feel less like they're talking to something that's not going to judge them or talk about them at the dinner table to their spouse later on that day, and really keep it private and just with them.
Thanks for sharing. Well, I'm trying to think. I'm looking at the comments to see if anybody has any questions. Obviously, test it out. We have that 2-minute beta test that you can do, and then if you'd like to try it, let us know. And then on our end, let us know how we can make the product better and how it could best serve you. And then I'm trying to think. I really don't have anything else. Brooks, do you have anything else?
No, I think that pretty much solves it and does it. Kind of what we're after. It's fairly straightforward. But again, it's you can call this number here. You can do a quick beta test. Again, it's 2 minutes. For paid users, it will remember who you are. It won't just cut you off mid-sentence. You get 2 hours on the base and 5 hours on the higher end. And we're just, we're looking for feedback. We're looking to, hear what anybody else has to say about this. If we've nailed the safety issues. Again, we have warnings everywhere that this is just a coaching tool. It's not a psychologist. It's not a replacement for 911 or anything else of that nature. But yeah. And it looks like has a question.
Fernando asks, will people feel more confident talking with a machine? I really think it's going to boil down to different perspectives and age. So I'm an early adopter. I love testing all these things out. I know I'd be one that I jump in. I know some of my physician colleagues, they may want to wait a little bit and see. Uh, so far, all of the youth, I'm going to call myself older. I haven't seen any youth that says, no, I wouldn't use that. I've actually had the opposite. They'd be like, no, I would love to use that. Some of the other beta testers have told me, they reinforce our theory. They said, yeah, Harvey, there's people that I call or I see certain coaches, and unfortunately my job schedule doesn't allow me to see them when I'm not able, when I need them the most. And sometimes my issue happens on the weekends and they're not around. So I think those individuals will feel better. Let's see, another question. You may have already answered this, but who's your dream audience you'd love to see use this more? Well, that's a good one. See, for me personally, I really think the younger population that are dating, I think that'd be a really good one. Unfortunately, COVID has started creating a culture of people that are really indoors, and I'm going to call myself out again, older, and not having that interaction with people, and they're just not used to talking to people. And I really think this bot could help them get out of their shell, have a better relationship, taking it to the next level. I really think this would be great in marriage, having both the husband and wife call together and having the bot know that this is the husband, this is the wife, and we're having a conflict. The other one that I really want to get more people to use is at the workplace. We're all at the different places in our career, but we all have issues at work at some point. And to be able to resolve it before it becomes something bigger, I think this would be a great use case. So we're excited to finally get out of that beta testing phase to be able to do it. But in the comments, feel free to, Lauren, put anything that you think personally that you think could be kind of cool for us to look at. So thank you. Great question. Very good. Well, I appreciate those last couple questions.
Yeah, those were great. And to tack onto what you said about our, like our dream audience, it's anybody that's looking for an extra opinion, an extra, someone to listen to. Maybe you're just feeling like lonely and you feel like nobody's understanding you, and you need, just need a little extra advice. Those are the types of things that we really feel that this tool is going to excel at and really prevent needless negativity, really help you have good, kind candor with the individuals that you're working with, especially, like you said, in the workplace.
And I'm gonna put this one up too from Laura. Before I say what she said, my favorite phrase is, you don't know what you don't know. And if you have AI to kind of open your eyes to say, hey, XYZ is going on, have you self-reflected on this? Even though in your heart you may already know, but to hear it again, sometimes that's good. The other is, again, my first point, you don't know what you don't know. So if it's able to shed light on X and Y issue and a different perspective that you hadn't talked to, or maybe you hear it, but maybe you're stubborn, let's say, or I'm making up a case, but you need to hear it over and over, and you're having the bond kind of just spar with you in a way and kind of let you see those other angles. Now you're like, whoa, I hadn't thought of that. So Lauren says, definitely at work. I coach teams on how to use AI to have more courageous conversations. There's a big need. Oh, thank you. And I love what you said. You're right. My favorite book that I read was Critical Conversations when I was starting in my leadership roles. And I really think that having that perspective was so nice. And I wish I had that book on audio, but a real audio where I'm not just listening to it, but the AI / coach had that in the background so that we could talk about this particular book and the fundamentals. I think that would have been great to have. So good question. And I see there's another question here can you customize the voice, Brooks? Fernando wants to know.
So that's a feature that we'll be adding in the future. We think it's really important to make sure that you feel you're in a safe space and that you can talk to an individual that makes you feel safe and comfortable. So right now, we're using the voice that we think provides the best tonality of sounding more human than AI. And as these tools progress, we're going to start adding that customization feature. So the answer is, in the future, yes.
Yeah. And for those of you guys, if you don't mind, please repost this because it helps other people know. Or if there's someone you would like them to just know about the tool, please tag their name. Not that you're implying anything, but just it's a coach. So I think it's helpful. So I see you have something, Brooks, you want to share?
Yeah, I was just gonna pull up that book that you mentioned, Crucial Conversations, and we've definitely we've both read this book, and both definitely impressed by that. But it's a really great book, and we've taken principles from all kinds of different things, and we've definitely read through this and allowed us to use some of the principles from this to make sure that we're having these conversations in the right way. But I just wanted to pull that up, since you mentioned it.
No, and I'm glad you said that because let's just go a little geeky on this. At the end of the day, the AI literally has downloaded the internet. Think of it as downloading it twice. It has all this information. And so when you ask a question, it's literally looking everywhere to find it. And so Brooks and I have made sure to look at it and massage the LLM to such a way that the LLM is hyper focused on these issues, that book, other areas. And that's why we particularly are pushing these three examples, so that way that it has been on the back end hyper focused on it, so when it speaks to you, it knows that this is the information that you're looking for.
Yeah, agreed. And again, because it has like the full corpus of written text or written speech by humans, these language models, they really know. And as long as we kind of point them in the right direction, it can provide so much good data. And then because we have the emotional intelligence on the back end of this, it really gives us the ability to provide these conversations in a way that are really helpful.
Yeah, and I do want to add that emotional intelligence is so big. I'll just call out some of my colleagues, some of my physician friends. I know they don't have the best bedside manners. And I encourage them, maybe not just to use my tool, but to use AI in general to help them, again, see what they don't see, understand what they don't really understand, because they're so hyper focused, as in this example, into the patient, which is great, but they forget sometimes the basic conversational part, the emotional intelligence, the way of saying things, the tact. And I feel like this would be a great tool as well for those physicians, that they could just have a conversation like, how can I be better with my patients? How can I show more emotional intelligence and be real, not fake? The LLM would do a good job because I've beta tested it as well. So Brooks, I don't have anything else. Please let us know if you have any questions. Hit us up on either IM or come to our website, test it out. And if you have any concerns or anything, let us know. And like I said, he and I are constantly looking at this. How can we make the product better? How can we push it? The nice thing is we both know that this is the worst it'll ever be. And I'm sure just like ChatGPT changed our emotional intelligence a couple of weeks ago, I know the next update will be way better anyway. So I'm excited about that.
Well, thank you all. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.